Hi, welcome to Marriott MBA Today. I'm joined today by Professor Brad McLaws. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
So I wanted to have you tell us a little bit about your product development and innovation class next semester.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about this class and who it's designed for.
Well, in a nutshell, it's designed for people who want to develop innovations or new products or new services within the context of an organization, an existing organization. So it may be different from entrepreneurial class, which is going to be focused on developing something, from scratch in your garage. This is going to be within an existing organization. How do you develop new products?
Great. So this is your second year teaching this class.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about what it covers, and then perhaps anything that you've changed from last year.
Well, the big things that we cover in the class are, first of all, the process from the very beginning when the CEO walks in and says, we need to grow, we're desperate for growth, to when the product is live in the market and is growing. So we're going to talk about that whole process and everything that goes along, from developing a strategy to developing ideas to getting those ideas tested and refined and articulating those ideas, and then launching and nurturing those ideas in the market. We'll talk also about how to be personally more creative so that that you can come up with better ideas, but also how to manage other people and how to manage them in the context of an innovation organization. So if you wanted to be the leader of an innovation team within a big company, you'd be prepared to do that. And then we talk, of course, about all the sort of best practices and ideas around innovation in organizations, the paradigms and philosophies that are appropriate for being innovative.
So it sounds like there's just a couple big models that you go over with the class, and you go down in detail on these couple of different models. Is that correct? So tell me about anything that's changed from last year.
Well, last year we didn't have a project specifically, so this year we're going to introduce that as a component of the class, where you're going to actually, within the context of being in a company, you're going to say, well, I'm in a certain big company. I'm going to develop a strategy and a product or service or whatever is appropriate for that company. And you're going to take it all the way to the point where you'd say, here's the product, here's what it looks like, here's how it works, here's the business case for it, and here's why it would be successful in the market. Unfortunately, we don't get to launch it as part of the class, but maybe
so
we'll
how does
sell
it relate
to
to someone who might be doing like a new venture type of project?
Well, the new venture is going to typically take the approach that you're going to have to get funding from outside, you're going to have to kind of bootstrap your way up. We'll be working from the assumption that you're within an existing organization and that you are trying to develop for that kind of a company. So you'll have the resources of those companies, you'll have the brands or the equities that might come with that kind of company, and how do you then go ahead and grow from that point of view.
But you feel that it would be also useful for someone who is doing a new venture project?
Yeah, most of the principles of innovation apply to whether you're doing it within an existing organization or whether you're doing it as a complete greenfield startup. There are certain constraints on doing it within an existing organization that in some ways make it harder, and so we'll talk about that. And we'll kind of compare and contrast those, but the basic philosophies of how you develop a product, what kind of strategy you're going to go after, how you ideate, how you triage, how you build a business case for that. Those things are extremely similar between those two different scenarios.
So do you see this as a skill, learning about product development and innovation, as something that anyone could use in their career?
Yeah, I think that every company that I work with is passionate about growth. That's the main thing they need to have. Okay, so they want to be able to develop new products, and so whether you're going to be in brand marketing or whether you're going to be in a strategy group or whether you're going to be in product development, these are all things that that are jugular to the needs of the company.
Great, that sounds like a very valuable class. Tell me a little bit more about you as a professor. What do you think makes you a unique professor to be teaching this class?
Well, I guess the main thing that makes me different is that I am not a real professor. I'm an adjunct professor. I'm an innovation consultant.
What does that
for
mean?
a living.
What does innovation consultant mean?
I go into big companies, typically Fortune 500 companies. I help them think through what are the strategies or areas or adjacencies that they should be considering growing in. And then we develop actual products for them. We test them, we articulate what those products should be, we build the business case for them, and then we help them launch those. So that's what we do as an innovation consultant, and that's basically the kind of thing that we're going to be teaching how to do in the class.
So there's a lot of practical experience behind what you're teaching, and
yeah, I led the innovation group for Frito-Lay.
Great.
And at one point reported directly to the president of Frito-Lay on new product development. And for the last 12 years, I've been essentially a consultant with my own firm doing new product development and innovation training and leadership work with them.
Is it stuff that could be applied also to the tech industry? It sounds like you've had a little bit of a CPG.
Yeah, I know. I would say the other major experiences I've had were developing a company from scratch. So I've been an entrepreneur. I know what it's like to build a company from scratch, and that was a technology company. And we do a lot of consulting for technology companies as well.
Great. So one last question for you. What do you think makes you the most excited about innovation and teaching innovation?
The thing that makes me the most excited about innovation is that it's about creation. It's about making something that never was there before. And the main reason I went into business in the first place instead of law or some other profession is that I wanted to create. I wanted to make things. I wanted to grow the world. And that's what innovation provides the best opportunity to do. It's so core to every company's needs. They want to grow desperately. And then the other thing that makes it fun about doing innovation within an organization is that it's maybe in some ways even harder than doing innovation outside, because these big organizations have this existing business that they have to keep going, and then they have to build this other thing at the same time. And it's a bit like trying to build a plane while it's in the air. And it's hard and it's challenging, but if you can get it right, you can add billions of dollars in revenue to their bottom line, and that's pretty cool.
Great. Well, I think any MBA student really, and a lot of us will be challenged with those same types of things that you're going to be talking about in your class. So thank you so much for telling us more about the innovation and product development class, and thank you for watching Marriott MBA Today.
Thank you.